classes we completed. Okay, now later these 4 clauses, if we want to use in one single query statement, then how these clauses can be used. Okay, now we can see first of all. So all clauses in a single select statement. Okay, all clauses in a single select statement. So first I will give the syntax here, and by taking off syntax you can understand. So now select column 1, column 2, and so on. Here we are passing grouping function name 1, comma, and so on. And we are passing from table name. And after table name, now you can send your what we can say order. You can go to send here order. So the clauses order you can see guys. After table name, the next order is here. Okay, here order is first where. So where filtering condition. Okay, and after where filtering condition, next we are using group by column 1, comma, column 2. And next we are using having. And next finally we are applying here order by. Okay. Now this is what now guys your the order of your classes. Okay, and in this order only we can use and it will be work. So first here you can see the where class condition when I was applied here before group by. So before group by we applied where class, and after group by we applied a having class. Okay, so this is what the differences of where and having. So where class we can use before of group by, having class you can use after group by. Okay, so this is the complete all classes when you want to use in a single select query statement. So this order will be followed, and this will be fixed order, and this order you cannot be changed. Okay, now this order cannot be changed, and we should follow this order as it is. Okay, so now let you see one example on this type here. So this is my working table, EMP. And in this EMP table, if you want to identify, there are total 14 employees data we have it. And 14 employees salaries also we have here. Okay, na? That's fine. So now what we want to do guys here. Okay, first of all, I want to filter, okay, this table data I need to filter. So which employee salary is more than 1,000? So which employee salary is more than 1,000? First, those employees I need to filter. Okay, now you can see the which employee salaries are more than 1,000. First, those people data I need to separate. So for that purpose, I'm using select star from EMP where class I'm using. And where clause condition is what now? Salary is greater than 1000. Okay, salary is greater than 1000. So I just go to execute it now. Okay, now right. So already we know the where clause condition, how it was working means each and every value is going to be checked. Okay, now each and every value is going to be checked. So checking and displaying here. Okay, whatever the salary is here, can you identify the total 14 employees, but out of 14 employees, how many employees salaries are having more than 1000? Means more than 1000 people salaries are here, 12 people are there. How many people here? 12 people. Okay, now right, 12 people. So the 12 employees are having more than 1000 salary. Okay, now right. So this is where class we done. After that, after taking the more than 1000 salary people on this salary or else on this data, that means 12 employee rows data. Now what I want to do, I need to apply group by. So I want to apply group by and the department number wise, in each department number, how many employees are working. So that I want to do it now. Then what we want to do, this query is taking up to here. So I won't write like this. Now group by I'm applying now. So when I apply group by, on which column wise I need to do department and number wise, I have to do grouping. So that's why I'm using department number, comma, and the number of people. That means count of star from EMP. Okay. So in the first clause is what now, where salary is greater than 1000 is the first clause. Okay. And the second one is what now, group by. So now I'm applying group by department number wise, group by department number. And up to here, I will just go to check it here. What it was happening, you can see. So where class up first, where class is executed now. So salary is greater than 1000. Okay, the 12 employees came. On 12 employees data, we are applying group by. What happened, you can see. Yes. So group by is successfully done. And here, department number 10 people 3, department number 20 people 4, and department number 30 people 5. Okay, na? So each department number wise we find out the number of employees. But here these employees we just count. So you have 5 plus 4 9, 9 plus 3 12. So that means 12 is came now. 12 is came now. So 5 plus 4 and 4 plus 3. Okay, so 9 plus 3 12. So on 12 rows of data, your grouping is done. On 12 rows of data, your grouping is done. Okay, now right. So this is what it was happening. And later come to next level. What is my next one is, after finding the number of employees in each department number wise, okay, then what I want to do, in which department number, number of employees more than 3, in which department number of employees are more than 3. Okay, so after grouping, now I'm doing one condition. Okay, after grouping, now I'm applying some condition. So after grouping, if you want to apply condition, so which class we want to use? Having class. So having class is filtering after grouping only. So that's what we want to do. Up to here, I will take as this. What is the next step? Having class and count of star is greater than 3. So count of star is greater than 3, and I'm going to execute it now. So in which department number more than 3 employees are there? So those departments information is displayed. So 35 and 24. And next one is what now? Suppose department number, okay, 30, 20 is not going to be okay in the ascending order. If I want to arrange this one, so now what we want to do next class is okay. Next, so finally, which class I have to use? Order by DPT number to exit. So finally, your all four classes I was used in my query. Okay, now? So this is the way the clauses, okay, how it was going to be working. And this is the order of a class. So where compulsory where before group by only we can use where. Okay, now? And later group by, and having compulsory we should use it after group by only, and finally order by. Okay, now? So this is your final, okay, all classes example how we can do it. But here, after, if you want to go to use that all classes in one selected statement, so if anybody asks you, suppose somebody is asking, what is the order, okay, order of execution of above your classes? What is the order of execution above the clauses means? So this order will be first the remember. So first your execution started from where it was started means your execution. The execution started from clause. Okay, na? Execution started from clause. Okay, na? So after from clause, then it was executed where clause. After where clause, it was executed group by clause. After group by, it was executed having clause. After having, it was executed select query. After select query, it was executed your order by clause. So this is the way of execution of process. Okay. So when I'm using all classes in the query, so first your query execution started from class. Okay, your query execution started from class. So execution started from class, later where class, later group by, later having, later select query, and finally order by class. So this is order of the execution, guys. Okay, this is order of the execution. Okay, now right. So now these are what we called as a classes how to use in one single query statement. And the next one is, okay, next one is roll up and cube classes. Roll up and cube classes. So these two special classes, how we can go to use it. These two special classes, how we can go to use it. And especially roll up and cube classes we called as a special classes. And these classes, the main purpose of these classes is what now? Okay, to find subtotal and grand total, to find subtotal and grand total based on columns automatically, based on columns automatically. So now here, okay, the roll up and cube, these are two special classes, and these classes we are using for, okay, to finding subtotal and grand total, okay, based on column. So which column are you given here? Based on the column data, it was finding subtotal as well as grand total. Okay, now, but here the two classes, like we said, roll up and cube, that both classes are going to be finding subtotal and grand total, we said. So both are using for to finding subtotal and grand total. Then what is the differences in between these two classes? What is the differences in between these two classes? Okay, now, so the kind of doubt is come to you. So that's why what you want to use here. So your roll up, okay, is going to be finding your subtotal grand total. This is based on single column, guys. It's a single column wise. Okay, it was finding, okay, what we can say subtotal and grand total. And what about cube mean? The cube is finding based on multiple columns wise, based on multiple columns wise. So this is the differences between roll up and the cube. So cube is going to be finding Okay, your subtotal and grand total based on single column. Okay, and cube is finding subtotal grand total based on multiple columns. Okay, but these two classes, whenever you want to use, we can use. Okay, so these clauses can use. Okay, these clauses can use along with the group by clause, along with the group by clause. Okay, only. So that means without the group by clause, you cannot use a roll up and a cube. Okay, now so without the group by clause, we cannot use a roll up and a cube. Okay, that is not possible. Compulsory when we are using roll up and cube, compulsory we should use a group by class compulsory. Without that, we cannot implement a roll up and a cube classes. Okay, right. So first here, I will show you the roll up as well as cube. Okay, the differences you can observe. But what is the difference here? We said roll up is working on single column and the cube is finding multiple columns. Okay. Now let me see. I will give here the syntax. Syntax for roll up. And after group by, then you apply your roll up of your column name 1, column name 2, and so on. We can use and close. So your syntax carefully observe guys here. So select your required columns and passing group by function name and so on. From table name, your group by class compulsory we should use. Okay. So after group by, otherwise along with the group by, we are implementing roll up along with group by. So roll up and roll up of, now we are passing multiple columns names. So we are passing multiple columns name. Okay, now right. So now now we are observing. Here, roll up I'm passing, okay, in my syntax, roll up of here columns I'm passing. So here, but roll up we are saying that, okay, based on single column we set, right? Based on single column we set. But here we are passing multiple columns, sir, we are passing. Then how it was working, sir, and how on which column basis it was finding subtotal and grand total. Okay, now so that kind of confusion doubt will come to you. So you're simple. Okay, so along with the roll up, you can pass any number of columns. Okay, you can pass any number of columns along with the roll up. But which column wise your subtotal and grand total is finding. Okay, which column wise your subtotal and grand total, okay, was finding means your first position of column. That means in this order of columns, okay, which column is having in the leading position. Leading means first position. So based on the first position column wise only, it was finding subtotal and grand total. Okay, now subtotal and grand total. So that means here first position column, whatever the column are you given in the first position. So based on that only your subtotal grand total will be find out. Based on that only your subtotal grand total will be find out. Okay. Then what about remaining columns? What about remaining columns means? Remaining columns are called as just supporting columns we call. Remaining columns are called as just supporting columns we call. Okay, now so that means what here, whatever the first position we have here, So this first position column, whatever it is there, this is my okay operational column. Okay, so what I'm saying here, first position column is operational column, okay. So is operational column, and the remaining positions, that means remaining whatever the columns are there, the remaining columns are just for, is it here just for what now, supporting columns, is it what now, supporting columns. So operational column means based on this column only we are finding, okay, okay, to find what now, subtotal and grand total we are finding. Okay, now only first position. That's why it is called as the operational column. We called it because based on this first position column only we are finding subtotal and grand total, and the remaining columns whatever you passed here, that all remaining columns are just for supporting columns here, just for supporting columns here. Understand now? Now let me see one example. First I will show you roll up with a single column. I'm passing now. When you pass a single column, okay, so nothing was happen. Okay, nothing was happen. So directly your single column basis data will be finding. Okay, right. And come back to your table. This is our final table. And now I'm writing here, observe. Select, for example, department number, count of stars from EMP, group by roll up of department number column. So in this example, my roll up is applied on a single column I was applied. Okay, so I'm not using any multiple columns here. I'm not passing. I'm passing only along with my roll up, passing only single column, only one column operation here. So when I executed this one, when I executed this one, what it was happening, you can see the department number 10, number of people 3, department number 20, number of people 5, department number 30, number of people 6. So and 3, 5, 6, these are department number wise, number of employees are displayed. And after that, below one more value is showing here. So this value is called as what now? Grand total. This value is called as what now? Grand total. So that means here 3 plus 5, 8, 8 plus 6 are 14. So in that case, if you carefully identify, okay, here whatever 3, 5 and 6, so whatever I was given, these are called as a subtotal. These are called as a subtotal. And now whatever it was having here, the 14, whatever it was having here, the 14 is called as what now here? Grand total. The 14 is called as what now here? Grand total. Okay. So that means here single column basis. Okay, I'm using one column. So in my roll up, we are passing only single column. So when I'm passing single column, so there is no confusion for us. Okay, the department number column, whatever I was given, the department number column wise, finding subtotals here 3, 5, 6. These are called as the subtotals. Okay, na? And 14 is called as a grand total. 14 is called as a grand total. Okay, na? Right. So now this is what, okay, in single column operation. Okay. So there is no confusion in single column operation. But when I go to multiple columns, carefully observe. So now I'm passing. Select DPT number, comma, job, comma, count of star from EMP, group by roll up of your department number, comma, job. For example, you're careful. So now we applied here, along with the roll up clause, we are sending multiple columns. But in this passing of order, the department number, comma, job, whatever it is. So passing of this order, can you identify now, guys, here? In this some multiple columns here. So which column was having in the first position? Department number. So department number is having in the first position. Yes or no? Department number is having in the first position. Okay. So department number is having in the first position. So that means what it was happened. This is our operational column, and job is a supporting column. Okay. So your department number is a operational column, and job is a supporting column. Now we can see I'm executing. Yes. So now carefully observe. Here, department number is called as a grouping. So department number is a group. 10, 10, 10, 20, 20, 20, 30, 30, 30. So department number is a group here. And carefully observe. So department number 10. In 10th department, this is 10th department information. So in department number 10, how many employees are working? 3 employees are working. How many employees are working here? 3 employees are working. So out of 3 employees, 1 employee working as a clerk, 1 employee working as a manager, 1 employee working as a president. So that means total department number 10, how many people? 3 people. This is your result. Your 10 is there now, 1 more additional 10, 10, and your null is there, and it was, this is subtotal. So if you want to carefully identify, now I will give you like this. Okay, this is department number 10, 10 subtotal here. Okay, now this is department number 10. So in department number 10, how many employees are there? 3 employees are there. Out of 3 employees, 1 employee is working as a clerk, 1 employee is working as a manager, and 1 employee is working as a president. So that means in department number 10, see, this is my department number 10. In department number 10, total number of employees are 3 employees. Out of 3 employees, 1 is a clerk, 1 is a manager, and 1 is a president. Understanding now? Now. Next, 20th department. Now you can see 20th department. Okay. Now, in 20th department, how many employees here? There are 5 employees. Okay. In 20th department, how many employees working? 5. Out of 5 employees, 2 employees are working as a clerk. 2 employees are working as an analyst. And 1 employee is working as a manager. So 2 employees are clerks, 2 employees are analyst people, and 1 manager. So 2 plus 2, 4, 4 plus 1, 5. And next one is, okay, department number 30. In department number 30, okay, total number of employees are what now? 6. In department number 30, how many employees working? 6 employees are working. Out of 6 employees, 1 employee working as a clerk, 1 employee working as a manager, 1 employee working as a salesman. Okay, now? sorry, 4 employees are working as a salesman. So one employee clerk, one employee is a manager, and 4 salesmen are there. Total 6. So now carefully identify this 3 and this 5 and this 6. Sir, these are what means? These are called a subtotal. But the subtotal finding based on which column? Based on department number column. Understanding? Based on department number column. Okay, right. But here one more thing is there now. 14. 14 is going to be what we call here, it is a grand total. It is a grand total. So based on which column? Here also based on department number column. Okay. So this is department number wise. Can you see everywhere? Department number wise. Okay, data finding. That means your subtotal, grand total finding based on department number column, because department number column is the first position of column in my query operation, and the job column is just for supporting column. So you can see job is just for supporting column. Okay, but your finding subtotal, finding grand total is done based on department number column. Understanding now? Now this is now the answer. But now we can see, suppose whatever this order is there, suppose I'm changing this order now. Whatever the order is there, now I'm changing this order now. So what it will happen, you can see. So I'm passing now. Select job, comma, DEPT number, count of star from EMP, group by roll up of job, comma, DEPT number. Okay, now my order is changed. And now tell me guys here, along with the roll up, whatever the multiple columns I'm passing now. So now tell me, now which column is there in the first position? Job column is there now. Now which column is there in the first position? Job column. So now first position is job column, and department number is a secondary here, and the first one is job. Now you can see if I executed the result output, you just compare now. Now this time your subtotal finding based on job column wise. Let us say job column is going to be done grouping now. Clerk, 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 analyst, analyst, managers are one separate group, salesmen are one separate group. Okay. Now in this also same like this, if you want to carefully identify. So this is clerk. How many clerks are there? Total number of clerks. How many clerks are there? There are 4 clerks we have. There are 4 clerks we have here. Number of clerks are 4. Out of 4 clerks, 1 clerk is working under department number 10. 2 clerks are working under department number 20. And 1 clerk is working under department number 30. Okay, na? So total number of clerks are 4. Total number of clerks are 4. Okay, na? Out of 4 clerks, 1 clerk is working under department number 10. 2 clerks are working under department number 20. And 1 clerk is working under department number 30. Okay, na? This is what. And the next one is analyst people. Enlist. How many enlist people are there here? Two enlist people. So, but unfortunately, the two analyst people are working under department number 20. So that means there is a no analyst in department number 10. There is a no analyst in department number 30. Okay, na? So we have only in 20th department two analyst people. And the next one is called as a managers. Here, how many managers are we have? Three managers. So your number of managers, how many? Three. Out of three managers, one manager working under department number 10, one manager working under department number 20, and one manager is working under department number 30. So total number of managers are three, and they are working like this. And the next one is we call as a salesman. So when come to salesmen, how many salesmen are there means a total number of salesmen are 4. But unfortunately, the 4 salesmen are working under department number 30 only. Okay, na? Right. And the next one is what here, president. How many presidents here? One president. And this one president working under which department? Okay, the president is one. So he was working under 30th department. So there is no president in 20th department. There is no president in 30th department. Okay, now? And finally, this is called as a grand total. So careful observe here 4, 2, 3, 4, and 1. So these are what means these are subtotals. Subtotal based on which column, sir, means based on which column, guys? Job column. Okay, right. And 14. 14 is what, sir, here? 14 is called as a grand total. Grand total. Okay, based on which column? Here also job column. Okay, so now clearing here. Okay, right. So in this case, okay, my job is having in the first position. So that's why my subtotal, grand total finding based on first position column. And the department number is just for supporting column. So this is what, okay, grouping and, okay, so what we can say, roll up. Okay, so like this, you can apply any number of columns. Okay, so 3 columns, 4 columns, 5 columns, 6 columns, 100 columns you can apply. But in this 100 columns, if you apply, but what happened, I'm saying here, first column, whatever you given, based on the first column wise only, it was finding your subtotal and grand total. Remaining 99 columns are just for supporting columns. Just for supporting columns. Understand my point now? Like this, any column you can go to use it, nothing problem. Okay, so this is a roll up working nature. And what about the cube? Cube, what we said. So roll up is you can pass along with my roll up. I'm sending multiple columns, but only first position column wise only it was finding subtotal and grand total. Okay, na? Right. Now, so now here come out and see. So these are the outputs that you can observe. Your department number is the first position. So this is our output. Okay, na? And job is another thing, and this is output. So outputs will be changing. So job wise here, and that is department number wise here. Okay, right. Now, so let you come to cube. The cube syntax, let us find out. So now syntax for cube. Syntax for cube. Okay, na? Right. In cube syntax, carefully observe. Everything is same, but in place of rollup, I'm passing here cube. And the cube advantage is what now, guys? Here. So here, how many number of columns are you passing along with cube? Okay, along with cube. That every column is called as a operational column. Okay, so that means all columns are operational columns. Here there is a no supporting columns. All columns. Here all columns are operational columns. Okay, operational columns, and there is no supporting columns here. There is no supporting columns here. Okay, na? Right. So this is what we call as a cube. Okay, every column, that means how many columns are you passing? Every column wise finding subtotal. Okay, and producing finally grand total. Okay, na? Right. Now let me see the cube. First I will show you single column operation. First I'm showing now. Okay, now come back. Select department number, comma, count of star from EMP, group by cube of department number. So cube roll up that variation observe. Cube, what it will do, guys, here first here showing grand total, and the grand total will be summarized into subtotals. Okay, grand total will be summarized. Okay, so summarizer means describing here. So 14 is a grand total. This 14 grand total describing as a subtotals. But roll up, can you find out when you come to roll up what happened? First the subtotals, and these all subtotals are adding together and finally showing grand total. So you have 3 plus 5, 8, 8 plus 6, 14. So all subtotals are adding and finally showing grand total. But cube is what it was happened. First cube is finding grand total, and the grand total is going to be describing here. That means how this 14 grand total is came. How this 14 grand total is came. That grand total will be describing. So total 14. Out of 14, 3 are department number 10, 5 are department number 20, 6 are department number 30. Okay, na? It's quite opposite of your rollback. So it's quite opposite of your roll up. Okay, na? Right. So single column. Okay. Suppose, sir, this order I have to change. So, okay. Suppose we are thinking, no, sir, I don't want it like this. I want it first a subtotal, and I want to show grand total in below manner. Okay, others below position. So if I want to do like this, then yes, we can do it by using of order by class. So now additionally, you have applied order by and department number if I'm using now. So when I'm using order by department number additionally, so it will become to your first subtotals will come to you. So, and after that finally grand total. Okay. So but this is when it was happen, when we are using order by class, when we are using order by class. Okay, now otherwise this is actually the nature of cube class. Okay, the original nature of cube class is what now? First finding grand total, and the grand total will be describing into subtotals. This is the nature of cube. And this one and this order, if you want to change it, then you can use a order by. Okay, otherwise no need. So okay, fine, but this is a single column operation. Okay, fine, the single column we find out. Okay, and when you see the single column, either cube operation, otherwise you can see single column, your roll up operation. So both are look like the same. Then the differences we didn't identify in this. Okay, now we didn't identify in this because both are having same output. It was showing that. Okay, right. But differences weights. Differences weight means now let you see. When I'm passing multiple columns, now you can see department number, job, count of staff from EMP group by cube of department number, comma, job. Okay, if I want to use order by, you can use order by department number, comma, job. So now you can see. Now cube, I'm passing multiple columns. But here, which column is operational column, we can't say because both are finding subtotals. Okay, right. Now you can see. Carefully observe, guys. These are department numbers wise, department number column wise subtotal. 10th department, 3 people. 20th department, 5 people. 30th department, 6 people. Okay, now. So this is what we called as, guys, here department number wise subtotals. But immediately, can you see below job wise subtotals also there, like analyst 2 people, clerk 4 people, managers are 3, president 1, and salesmen are 4. So 2, 4, 3, 1, 4. This is also called a subtotal. But these subtotals are represented which column? Job column. Okay. So that means here 2 columns wise of finding subtotals, guys. 2 columns wise of finding subtotals. Okay. Now carefully, if you identify, this is department number wise subtotals. Okay. This is department number wise. So 10th department, 3 employees are there. Next 20th department, 5 employees are there. Next 30th department, 6 employees are there. Okay, so 3, 5, 6. And below this is what now? Job columns. These are jobs. Okay, now these are jobs. And every job wise, okay, every job wise, it was going to be finding subtotal again. Okay. These are all are what now? Analyst. How many analyst people? 2 analyst people, 4 clerks, and 3 managers, and 1 president, and 4 okay, salesmen. So if you carefully identify, you have 3, 5, and 6. So these are called as a subtotals. Subtotals based on which column? This one, DEPT number column. Okay. Now come to next. These are there: 2, 4, 3, 1, and 4. Okay. So these are what now, guys? Here, these are also called as a subtotal. These are also called as a subtotal. But based on which column? This one, job column. Based on job column. Okay, right. And what is finally? It was means finally producing grand total. Producing, okay, grand total. So producing grand total, but grand total based on which columns, guys, here? Okay, based on which columns? Based on multiple, here 2 columns here. Department number column, comma, job columns. Okay, now your grand total showing based on 2 columns, department number column as well as job column. So here multiple columns wise, see, understanding the department number wise finding subtotal, okay, and job wise also finding subtotal. Okay, so multiple columns wise you're fine. But Rollup is not like this. Rollup is not like this. So Rollup is going to be, okay, Rollup is going to be finding any one column wise finding subtotal. You can pass multiple hundreds of columns, but Rollup is finding only one column wise and that to first position column in the order. So whatever the order are you given, in that order, which is first position column, based on that only subtotal is finding. But cube is not like that. Cube will be finding, okay, multiple columns wise, how many columns are you passing, that every column wise it was finding. Okay, na? So this is differences between your Rollup and cube classes. Okay, once you yourself also you should go to practice guys here, then you will get more clarity on this. Okay, right. And now here, carefully observe. In this output, if you identify, okay, so department number wise we are finding subtotals here. Okay, department number wise, and jobs wise also we are finding subtotals. But here the confusion, if you want to see only this count of star result, if you want to see, then here some little bit confusions are there. Suppose suddenly the user will see my output. Okay, now you can understand. But suddenly when I see this output, okay, what is that? This confusion is occur like 111. What are those? These are subtotals. What it is? It's a normal counter or subtotal counter. We don't know. So like this, what happened? Okay, so in this numbers, which is subtotal and which is the normal totals of otherwise normal counter and which is subtotal counter, how we can identify? How we can identify means, actually we can identify with the simplest manner is what now? Null. Can you see null is there? So wherever null is there, that every null position of row is called as a subtotal representator. Okay, na? Every null is there na here. See, every gap is coming now. Some gap is there. Every null gap is represented. Okay, represented the subtotal of your row. And here also null, 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 null analyst 2, null clerk 4, null manager 3, null president 1, null salesman 4. And here also two columns, null, null 14. Okay, now. So actually we can identify like this. As per your experience, you can easily identify. Okay, but suppose even though you have a confusion means, then how we can identify, sir, which is subtotal row and which is normal count rows, if you want to identify. So there we need to use a one function we are applying as here. The function name is called as a grouping ID function. Grouping ID function. So this grouping ID function, okay. So what purpose? Okay, we want to use means, okay, ID. ID means here to generating ID numbers. Okay, to generate Okay, so subtotal and grand total row IDs to generate subtotal and grand total rows IDs. Okay, IDs will be generated automatically. So how it was IDs are generated means, for example, first subtotal row. Okay, that means the first subtotal row. If you want to represent here, okay, first subtotal row is giving ID number 1. Second, first column subtotal row is showing here 1. Second column second column subtotal rows are showing as a second number 2, ID number 2. Okay, like a third column subtotal rows are 3. fourth column subtotal rows are 4. Like it will be taking out. And suppose if there is a first column and second column is what have already completed, first and second column is over, then what it was showing next one is what now? Grand. So grand total row is generating number 3 because here I'm using only 2 columns now, so that's the grand total row ID number is 3. So like this, it will be generating your ID number on your subtotal rows of columns in your result set. Okay, na? So first ID, first column subtotal rows, second ID, second column subtotal rows, and suppose are using based on how many columns are using, based on that it will be work. And the next one is grand total. Grand total finally it was showing, so 3 or 5 or 7 or it's a depending on your columns. Okay, right. Now you can see, now I want to apply this one. Okay, now I'm going to apply this one. Come out and see. So complete your operation is same. Up to here I will take here same as this, and here I'm applying guys grouping ID function. Carefully observe. So grouping underscore ID of here whatever the columns I'm passing here, the columns you can see department number and job. So how many columns I'm passing along with my grouping ID function means here 2 columns I'm passing now. One is department number comma job. Okay, and after that I'm using from as usual your EMP table, and apply your group by class, apply your cube class, and pass your multiple columns department number comma job. Okay, and give it, if you want it order by, you can give order by department number comma job. So now we can see what it was happen. Observe carefully. So this is actually our result. Up to here this is my result. Subtotal and grand total will be showing us. But when I'm applying here grouping ID function additionally, what it was happen, you can see. First column, my first column is what now? Department number. So it's my first column I'm passing along with my cube. Okay, now so first column rows, subtotal rows. So first column subtotal row, this is what it was showing guys. First column subtotal row number, how much showing? 1. Understanding now? 1. And this is also first column subtotal row showing as 1. This is also first column subtotal row 1. And next, these are what now? Second one, job column. These are all our job column. So job column means second column subtotal rows. How much it is showing? Second column subtotal rows. How much it was showing? 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay. Next, grand total. How much it was showing? Grand total ID number 3. Okay, now. So that means your first column subtotal rows ID number 1. Second column subtotal rows ID number 2. Okay, now. So here 2 columns was given, 2 is finding, and finally grand total is represented, third sequence ID number 3. Okay, now. So this is, and but remaining, can you see here 1 1 1 is there? What it was showing? Zeros. Here 1 1 1, what it was saying here? Zeros. Zeros means these are not a subtotals. These are not a grand totals. Okay, now. Only wherever 1 is there, every 1 representation, first column subtotal rows, and 2 is the second column subtotal rows, and third is a grand total. Okay, but the thing is if you have a, okay, so confusion means it's not necessary. Okay sir, I didn't understand this one. I'm very comfort for this one. Okay, I don't want this. I can understand this output, how it was came. I'm comfort for this output. Okay, then you can directly write and don't use a grouping ID. Grouping ID is not a mandatory, guys. Here, grouping ID is not a mandatory. It's a just okay, some identity you want to give for your subtotal rows and grand total rows. Okay, for your subtotal rows and grand total rows. If you need to give some identity, then you can go for use it. Otherwise, okay, no need to use. Okay, so that's why grouping ID is not a mandatory. It's just optional part. Either use or not, that's your wish. Okay, now, so these are classes, guys, here. Okay, these are classes, and we completed these classes here. Okay, so it is one of the very important topic, okay, that we checked out. And the next very important topic is what now? The next major topic in our database. The topic name is, okay, joins. The next topic is what now? Join. So what is join, and joins how many types? Okay, no? So these are all kind of the things we will be discuss here. Okay, so joins important because joins very important when you're working in applications. Okay, so joins are very commonly the people are using in their real time. Okay, now, so then this joins, how it was work, how it will be working, types of joins. Okay, the rule of joins. Okay, so conditions. Okay, this all we will be discussed as. Okay, but this joins topic we will start it tomorrow session. Okay, so here few concepts are having, okay, what we can say, guys, big concepts are there. So big concepts purpose, we need to spend more time. So there is no other alternative chance. Definitely we spend more time on big concepts. And some concepts are very small concepts are there. Like one day, one session, it will be completed. So the type of topics also we have it here. So both the topic wise, we are existing our timetable to finishing as soon as possible your course. Okay, now, right, guys. And tomorrow we will go for to check out your joints, what is what. Okay, right, yes, thank you so much.